Hello and welcome to this week's Give Voice to Your Vision. I am so excited to have a dear friend, colleague, someone I've admired for years and worked with here to talk today, the amazing Ann Hession, sales master and heart-centered healer, visionary, brilliant woman. And, we're talking today about pricing and sales and really owning your worth and your value. And why is it so damn weird, right? Why is it so freaky to charge, or all the different levels of vulnerability and lack of clarity that we have? So we have much to dive into today. If you're here live, please comment wherever you're watching from, on YouTube or on LinkedIn or on Facebook. We want to know you're here. We want to know your questions. We'll come back and make sure that you get support, and we want to hear your takeaways and what's valuable to you. So I'm going to start right away by asking you, Ann, to tell us who you are. Tell us what you love to do and what you're all about.
I'm delighted to. Hey, everybody.
Yay.
So, the first thing one of the things I like to just get right off the top is I'm super woo. I'm super
woo. Woo woo alert. Right. Me too. Frequency factor.
I'm an energy healer. I'm a medical intuitive. I got all the woo going on. If you're here, give me a woo.
And she's helped people make millions.
And I like to just be real upfront about that, because the people that I help, the people I work with, the people who come to me are usually pretty woo too. They're at least woo open, if not like super woo, right? They're healers, they're spiritual entrepreneurs, they're intuitives, they're light workers, they're, transformational coaches. And I want them to know I get that.
Yeah. Right? Well, and the work you do, sales and pricing in that realm, is got a specific energy to it, right?
It does. And it's a real struggle for most.
Yeah.
I have, in the last 10, 11 years, I've quite literally, I'm not exaggerating, I've had over 10,000 one-to-one conversations with doers and coaches and light workers and all of that, right? A lot, one-to-one, me and you talking conversations. And one of the things, there's a lot of things I learned from that, but one of them is the majority of people like that who have these amazing gifts and they're so knowledgeable, and some of them have like decades of experience. They're life-changing gifts and skills. But the majority of them are not actually naturally entrepreneurial people.
Yeah.
Right. I would, my like pseudoscientific, like semi-scientific, just based on a lot of data, maybe 15%, right? Yeah. Maybe 15% or so are. I'm one of those. Like I'm a naturally entrepreneurial person. I like having my own business, even if it wasn't something as amazing as what I do now. But the majority are not. They're what I call soulpreneurs, and that's different, right? And then they're usually, then there's some like us, that, like you and me, like we're both, right?
Yeah.
But we're doing what we're doing because it's coming from like what we feel is our purpose here on the planet. But
calling-led business, baby. Calling-based business.
And it's just and then the money and the marketing and the promotion and having an actual sales conversation and answering the what do you do question, and when someone says what do you charge, and all that stuff is all doable. But where most people are is they don't know.
Please. We have a technical difficulty happening here. I'm so sorry.
Okay, no worries.
Hang on. There we go.
Okay.
We had an echo. We had some live streaming coming into our conversation here as we were live streaming on multiple platforms.
No worries.
Where were we?
What we're talking about.
Yeah, for sure.
But so that stuff tends to be really hard, right?
Yeah.
It tends to
I'm
be
thinking
really...
like a business owner. I know, as I was a creative professional for many years, and then yoga teacher, energy healing, all of those things, singing, performance, blah, blah, blah. And thinking of it like a business was almost anathema. It was almost like, ew, I don't want it to be business. This is energy and creativity, right? So thinking like a business owner has been a great clarifier, even for me going through that process, right? Years ago.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a different way of thinking. It's like the truth is it's not enough to be really good and gifted at your skill, at your talent, at the thing that you do. That's
limited,
wonderful.
Right? It's going to limit, it's limited. It's going to limit your reach. It's going to limit your revenue, right? Because there's only so many people you're going to bump into who might find out about it, right?
Yeah. And so you could be amazing. You could be, if there was some way to measure this, the best coach in the world or the best energy healer in the world or whatever, but it doesn't matter if you don't know how to talk about it and you don't know how to, help people see what it will do for them, right? There's this old saying, I don't know, like, build a better mousetrap and the world will beat a path to your door. And that's just a crock. That's a total crock.
If you build it, they will come. Yeah.
Right. It's like, no, they're not. No one's beating a path to your door.
Yeah.
But you have that if you learn how to talk with people, I mean, I really did build a 6-figure energy healing business in a little over a year. And I did not have the marketing figured out. I didn't have an email list. I wasn't doing social media. I wasn't doing like big expensive ads, but I did know how to talk with people and connect with people. Right. And so, and that's not to say that marketing is not important. It's super important, but you can't do marketing and you can't figure out marketing, a message that will actually resonate with people.
Yeah.
Unless you first actually figure out the sales part. Like the only way, here's one way I like to think of it. Everyone here has, it's what I like to think of as resonant marketing, resonant messaging.
Me too. We talk all about resonance here.
So, and we've all experienced it. So, if you think of someone that some of you read their book, you heard them talk, maybe it was Donna Eden, maybe it was Tony Robbins, maybe it was Deepak Chopra, maybe it was Eckhart Tolle, whatever. But you heard a message from them and it resonated so deeply in your body, you almost couldn't help but want more.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's a resonant message. Here's the thing. Everybody wants a resonant message. Right? I'm going to say there's literally only one way to get that. Right? Or at least there's one absolute essential that no matter what else you do, you won't be able to get it. And that is you have to talk to people. You have to have one-to-one conversations with people, including actually inviting them to work with you.
All the way through, baby.
With a price and everything. Like not just theoretically, but you have
not in a practice session.
Yeah, right? Not just market research, right? It's like you have to actually make an invitation where then here's the price, because that's the only way you'll learn what matters enough to them that they will actually want to invest with working with you.
Absolutely. Right? Absolutely.
There's just no way around it. And so that's sort of like, could sound like the bad news.
Wait, what? It's actually the fantastic news, because by going through the whole process, you're going to find out where your blocks are, where your resistance are, where you don't know what to say, where you feel weird, where you still feel like you're in the 3rd grade, or where you're afraid of what people think, or where you're afraid of how they're going to perceive you, or where you're not lined up with your pricing, right? All those different places and so, absolutely. And you know what? It's real market data. Right? We have to put it out there. We have to talk to people and see how it goes. I was just talking with somebody right before we hopped on here about how, what I really recommend is that you just craft that offer and have the language and skill you need to go close that sale as quickly as possible. Because she was in I'm doing these certifications and this learning, and she was ambivalent and spinning, and there was a lot of different things she could be focusing on. So there's so many ways. This is such great stuff. Can I ask you a question?
Yes, you can.
What is the biggest mistake that you think us woo or transformation? More people are coming into the transformation space because, it's like the real
becoming the new normal.
Right. It is for sure. So what's the biggest mistake that we make when somebody says, what do you do? Or when we're thinking about the sales process and it doesn't feel like
when someone wants to find out more.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. It's like, if you did something was out there that was resonated enough that someone's like, tell me more. I want to find out more about what you do. What a lot of times what happens is then people are like, your brain's like, yeah, they want to find out more.
Oh no, now they're going to ask me what I charge.
Right. Yeah. So that'll be happening in the back, right? That's happening there too. So there's way too much going on up here.
Yeah.
So the problem is that when people do want to find out more about what you do, how most people respond to that is, it could be you just freeze up, like that can happen too. But I think what happens actually more when someone's, just expressing some genuine interest is we fire hose them with information, right?
Process details.
Yes, you heard, tell me more about it, and you're like, okay,
right. You have to have this scientific process and this,
yes, and then you do this, and there's like a magnet, and then there's just chakras, and then there's this, and then there's the future envisioning, and then we do a vision board, and then we do, and then this, and they're just like, and if you are listening, if you've even started having, like, you've probably done this, right? We've all been on both sides of it too. I call that the tell me more trap, because it's this trap you fall into, where you're like, oh, I'm supposed to tell them all this stuff. And if I tell them enough stuff, they're going to want to do it. And that's just not how it works.
I call it the fire hose factor.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like,
right?
Yeah, and it's not, sometimes if we're really withheld, letting it rip is okay. It can be part of the process. So this isn't about judging what you've done already, or if this is you.
We've all done it.
Identifying.
Michelle, have you done this?
We're doing it right now because we're both like so excited. So no judgment, but clarity and awareness and what's possible. So what do we do instead?
So what you do instead, it's really very simple. And actually, before I say what you do instead, I just want to say, like, there's reasons why we do that. And it's mostly like, it's just a skill that you're missing. First, that's one reason. I'm going to give you the skill in a second. But it's also like, we love what we do. It's like, if we were just selling widgets, we wouldn't be like gushing about the widgets. We would just be like, well, da, da, da. But because we love what we do, it's like sacred to us. It's so important. We're like, it's just this bottle of energy. And so we do have to learn to, like, that they didn't ask for a lecture, right? They don't want all of that. They just want to know what might be relevant to them.
And be able to decide, right? Helping them make a decision. And if we overwhelm them with too many options or choices, they can't decide. They can't process it. You're giving them so much information, they can't process it. And so that just shuts down. So what you do instead, if someone, they express some interest and they're like, it's some version of, how does that work? Or how do you get into that? Or tell me more. Like, it's an invitation for you to tell them more. The easiest, simplest way to do it is just to reply. And you might want to write this one down. Like, oh, I'd love to. Pencils, everyone.
Right. I'd love to, but what got your attention about it? Or I'd love to, but what interests you about it? And then you'd like, zip it. Yeah. And then they can kind of guide you, because they might be wondering if it's something that you could help them with, but they might just be being polite. They might be thinking they have a resource for you, and they're kind of wanting to find out more to see if they might recommend this to you, especially if you just happen to meet someone. Like, I could give you 6 different reasons why someone might invite you to tell them more. And only one of them is them actually, like, wanting to perhaps get into a bit of a sales conversation with you. Right. So you're just like, oh, I'd love to tell you about it. It's fascinating to me. What got your attention about it, right? Or what, and then you let that guide. It's about meeting them where they are. Always. All your marketing and all your visibility. The biggest real specific mistake is like fire hosing with information. But in the broader category, the biggest mistake people are making is instead of meeting them where they are, we're trying to drag them over to where we are and what we think they should care about, what we think they should be paying attention to.
What we know they need.
We are so sure they need this. It's like, that's just noise to them. You need to find out what they feel they need, what they want, what motivates them. And if you won't meet them there, they're not going to be interested in having a conversation with you.
I like to think of it as like laying breadcrumbs, right? What about this? Well, what about that? Right. So you have a phrase, I heard you say it, I think the first time years ago, at an event we were both at, I think, and you talked about how people, especially intuitives and woos, feel allergic to sales. Yeah, so tell me how you know that. Tell me a little bit about what's allergic to sales.
Well,
and how can we shift it?
It's a little tongue in cheek, but from an energy healing point of view, it's actually pretty just solid. Like, for those of you who are in the woo and healing and stuff, even like from an energy healing energy healing point of view, even a physical allergy is energetic in its origin, right? It's not denying that there's physical things happening in your body. Yeah. Sure, the histamines are popping and all that stuff, but it's because subconsciously in your body, there's this really negative association with that substance. And there's many instances of like that association getting cleared, and then a physical allergy actually getting better or even disappearing. So when I say they're allergic to sales, I actually mean it quite literally. Like there's such a negative associations with
in the
sales.
cells, like stored up in the energy fiber,
that it's you're like allergic to it. And it came from me just having those thousands of conversations with people and like really listening to what they were saying, right? That's, by the way, saying that I teach sales to people who are allergic to sales. That's an example of a resonant message. Yeah. Right. When I say that, and I can just feel it landing, people kind of smile, they laugh. Oh my gosh, that's me. And I just want to say, like, that's an example. I couldn't have come up with that on my own. I came up with it because I was talking to people. It just kind of came from that. And that's how it works. That's how you figure out marketing works, is that you have to do the sales part first.
I love it. I love it. And so what's the simple, is there a shift we can make to feel more aligned, mindset shift or an energy shift so we can start to heal that? What do you recommend?
Yeah, there's a lot. I mean, it also depends on how allergic you are, right?
Anaphylactic shock.
To me, like, it can be to sales, it can be to money, it can be the self-worth issues.
In my world, visibility, right? Like I heard thousands of people say to me, like, it feels like I will be killed. Like they were like, and I was
absolutely.
Like, I know that feeling.
They probably were.
They probably were. 21 times is what the number they tell me, so it's so valid, but not current, right? And it gets stored up in there.
It feels current, right?
And what we do is we judge ourselves then. We're like, I need to just get over it. I need to just figure this out. I just need to be braver. And then it gets kind of reinforces the allergy, right?
It does, right? Because then you're not actually shifting anything. So
what do we do?
To answer your question, I mean, there's a lot of things, right? It doesn't happen like that. But how I approach pretty much everything is I'm always looking at both what I think of as the inner game and the outer game. Okay? Yeah. So here's the visual that I like to share, because I find this really tends to resonate.
Let's resonate.
So in terms of creating success, and I mean like literally financial and impact success, like actually creating the business you want, where you're helping people and changing lives and you're being paid well for it. Okay? Think of the path to that as like a staircase. Okay. And there's a line down the middle of this staircase. And on this side of the staircase is the inner game. And we love it over here.
I really love it.
Right. It's like the mindset shift. It's healing past trauma.
Yeah, like, all the good juice.
Someone reading your Akashic record and they're getting like, oh my God, you're beheaded and we need to work on your throat chakra. Right? It's all the inner, right? And the mindset shifts, identifying those limiting beliefs, clear them. We love it over here.
Yeah.
Okay. On this side is the outer game. This is taking action,
what you do,
learning how to have the conversations, right? Then picking up the phone or going to the networking event or promoting something out there, right? It's like the actions you have to take, the outer actions in order to get a result. So what most of the more woo stuff are doing, and I used to do this too, but then I like got straight with myself. I basically try to jump up a staircase on one leg.
Nice.
Right. I mean, you're not going to get very far.
Inner game.
You really might hurt yourself. But if you've ever heard I need clients, I guess I'll just work and clear more money blocks, and then they'll just come.
I hear it so often. And it feels like we need to get clear and confident and then go do. Yeah. But it actually is the other way around. I'm always saying your transformation happens through implementation, right? The clarity and the confidence come after the courage, the inspired action times repetition.
Yes.
Right?
Over time.
And that's the formula, right? And so when we feel like we have to fix it on the inside, and then we get stuck, right?
Yeah. And so here's the thing. The inner stuff is still super important.
Super.
Right? But think of it this way.
You can go up the stairs on one leg on both sides, right?
Well, you can try. Yes, there are people who are like, I'm just going to do mindset. It doesn't matter. I'm going to do this, and they're not going to get very far either.
Exactly.
Right? Because they don't have, they're not resonating with that higher stuff.
It's all hustle too.
It has to be both. So do some clearing, but then you have to look and see, okay, what did that open up over here? What could I do now that maybe I was a little too scared to before? I couldn't even see it. And then take that action. And then you do that consistently, you get some results. What also happens though, is it's pretty much guaranteed. That's going to drive up some more stuff over here.
100%.
Right. And
at every level.
Yeah. And then you do that, and that opens up something else over here. And you do that, and you do that, and that's going to drive up some more stuff for you to clear. And at this point, the stuff you're clearing, working on, doing your woo stuff, that's stuff that you didn't even have access to work on.
Exactly.
It never would have
sometimes brings up that next thing.
Exactly. It never would have come up for you to heal this stuff if you hadn't taken these steps over here, because there's just only so much that's going to be available for you to heal when you stay there.
Yeah.
But when you do it like this, there's literally no limit. Right?
100%. And there's no, it's an escalator. There's no ending or beginning, right?
Yeah, right. It's like there's no limit really to how many people you can help and the impact you can have and the money you can make for it.
Exactly.
Because you're doing both consistently.
I love that so much.
Bringing that back to, you said about that's how you get past being allergic to sales and make sales while you're doing it is, do some clearing, do some work, but then you have to take the action. You have the conversations, and some of them will go great and some of them won't go as great. And you learn from all of them, and then you see what else is there, and then you do more. And that's how it works.
Yeah. And you can create revenue very quickly doing that, right? You don't have to wait and practice and figure it out and get it right and then go create revenue. The faster you create revenue, the faster you'll clarify what's next and develop your own process and your own voice with it.
Plus, you can't figure it out without action anyway. You cannot figure out how it all works just inside your own head. It only happens, it only happens in conversation and connection with people and putting stuff out there and then seeing the response that you get.
Right.
And that is how it works.
And our brains are tricky because when we're studying and we're figuring it out and we're spending time building the website and we're getting the certifications and we're doing those things, we feel like we're in action, right? We are in action in one place.
Busy. I've been busy on my website.
Website. Or I'm thinking about it, or I'm getting ready. And getting ready is your brain telling you you're doing something, but you're not doing the thing that's going to move you forward. Every time you want to move forward in your personal expression, healing, whatever, think, what could I do today to create money? It'll bring something up. It'll bring something up.
Well, and I'll tell you something. I was talking with a friend. This is something a conversation I revisit with my clients periodically, which is consider that you always win the game you're playing.
Oh yeah, I love it.
And if you think you're losing, you're not playing the game you say you're playing. Because if you are playing the game of making money and you're not every day asking yourself, how could I make money today? Then I'm going to say you're actually not playing the game of making money, right?
Yeah.
And it's just a bit of a wake-up call. And I'm not saying you should be playing that game. I'm just saying be straight with yourself what game it is you're playing, because
I love that.
We always win the game we're actually playing.
If you're called to reach and serve more people, and you really want to get your message out there, and you really want to uplift others and help people heal and do those things, your business is the most impactful way that you can do it. Growing a business inherently makes it bigger reach, more people. Your marketing and visibility is going to touch the lives of people you've never even met or you never will meet. But your business thriving and you thriving is actually the biggest expression of a message or a calling. I don't think it can be bigger. You don't have to want to make money, but if you let your calling be, it's my mission and my journey has been calling-based business, connecting this calling to extra prosperity. The bigger my business grows and flows, the more lives I can touch. And that's expansion. That's my stair hopping, right? And so if you think of this like, well, I'm not in it for the money and I just want to help the people. Okay, that's great. And that's your choice. But at the same time, I will propose, if you have that calling and you want to reach and touch the lives of people, this double stair approach and thinking like, how can I create revenue in my business? What can that do for me to reach more people, for however big you want it to grow? So I have become so clear for me and for the people that I support most often is that distinction between, we talked about it earlier, right? Having a business and choosing to have a business means that I'm going to put on some big girl business pants. That's part of my spiritual journey. But creating revenue is the foundation of a business. Otherwise, it's an expensive hobby, right? And we've all been there. Yeah. So I love this. So let's talk money again, some more. Let's talk money. Let's talk about how do I price my services? I feel weird. No, my people won't pay that. Or I could never make that.
Right? People won't pay that. You know, my
people don't have that kind of money.
And it all comes down to, like, I don't think there's really anything that's more truly at the heart of you having a business doing the amazing work that you do than the price. When you think about it, it's kind of right at the center of everything, right? It's like this nexus where everything comes together.
But most people don't think of that. That's pretty like groundbreaking clarity. So write this down too, everyone.
Right. But when you because it's at the center of like, what's the value? What's the what will
your value?
What will this do for people? It's at the center of your belief, your own belief in that. It's at the center of their perception of it. It's at the center of your ability to own that, right? To like really own it. It's at the center of any self-worth issues that are there for you. It's right. It's like, do you mean it's like all the different things? It all kind of comes down to what's the price.
It's also at the center of your business success.
Yeah.
Like, are you going to do everything yourself?
It's at the center of your whole relationship to money. Right. Yeah. It's just like it all. It's this one thing that you have to set, and I think that's why people struggle so much with setting a price.
Yeah.
Because it drives up all of this stuff. It drives up their self-worth issues. It drives up their fear of what if they won't pay it? What if they say no? What if they laugh at it? What if they do pay and then they're disappointed?
Yeah.
Right? What if I don't measure up? What if I don't deliver? Who am I to think? I don't. Is it even okay for me to charge? This as a gift, you know, that I have.
Yeah.
Is it even okay to charge for it? And it's like all of those things and more all get in this thing, and then your brain's just going like this. And someone says, "Oh, that sounds really interesting. I might want to work with you. What do you charge?" And you go,
yeah.
Right.
It's like static interference, right? We have to like.
So you have to actually address it from all of those things. Yeah. And so, but I encourage people to think of it as not just this thing you have to do and stuff. Like really get like what your business really is people, right? And making a difference in their lives.
And for those of us who have calling, it is the vehicle.
Yes. Yeah, it is. Right.
To share that calling.
And so it's, and they don't get the transformation. They don't get their life changed. They don't get their health improved. They don't get their voice out in the world unless they pay you something to get what it is that you do.
Yeah.
They just don't. I mean, unless you decide to just give it away. And just to be clear, there's nothing wrong with working for free when it feels truly right.
Yeah.
We've all done stuff for free for people, our services, where it just felt right. It was the right thing to do. The energy exchange was clean and clear and it was good. And that's all good. Nothing wrong with that. I'm not going to be like, oh, you should never. But most of us out there have done stuff for free. We gave it away and it was like, that did not feel good. It did not feel right. It didn't, and so that's what I'm talking about. Like, they really do need to pay you. It doesn't, you see what you could do for them. And even they're seeing like this possibility of what they want. If you want it for them more than they want it for themselves, you got to walk away.
Yeah. And, when people pay, for me, I made this investment in this mastermind that was utterly crazy. It was like a departure from reality. My marriage survived. There was a touch and go 6 months. It created a huge stress. It didn't make any logical sense. It was more money than God. And it was my decision. And this particular person held that space so beautifully. Do you believe in yourself? Do you decide? And that decision changed everything for me. And if he hadn't held that decision for me the way he did, I could be sitting in my brick and mortar studio where I was 10 years ago, helping a few people for a few $100s. Right. So it's a powerful, sacred trust, that offering.
It is. And there's, God, we could talk about this for a while.
I know.
I love what you said about that, because I think, the trust is a huge part of it. And I think, we could talk about sales and like addressing objections and stuff. And to me, like the fun, especially when it comes to coaching and healing and personal transformation and stuff, all the objections, whether people say it's money, it's time, it's just, fundamentally what 99% of the time, what it comes down to is, do I trust myself or not?
That's right. That's the decision we're holding for people who are considering our offer.
Yeah.
Right? Do I trust myself to get these results? Will it be different this time?
And so when it comes to the whole sales process and the whole sales thing, including setting your price, which we'll get back to in a sec, but to me, it's really, I see it as a very sacred thing. And I see it like it's a series of moments of truth. That's really what it is. It's a series of moments of truth in terms of your belief in yourself as the person who has something to offer, your belief in the value of what you do, your belief in your ability to deliver it, your belief in your ability to convey it and connect with the other person. And it's moments of truth for them as well, of like, what are they seeing for themselves? Are they willing to let go of the things that have been holding them back? Because wherever they're being held back in their life, that's not like, that didn't just happen. Right. It's been going on. It's their patterns.
Lifetime.
Right. So it's these moments of truth for them. Are they willing to let that go? Are they willing to take a stand for themselves? Do they trust themselves to make this decision? Do they trust themselves to do that? And so when you start to think, isn't this a very different way to talk about sales? It's a matter of this sacred holding of space and a series of moments of truth for both people. That's how sales is for me. And
me too.
Right. And I think that's very different than how most people are seeing it.
Totally different. And I couldn't have lined up with it any other way. And I struggled to do it until I found and discovered for myself exactly what you're talking about. It's so powerful. So pricing, right?
So all this you have to have a price. You can't make a sale without a price.
Right.
Right. And there's a lot of stuff out there and advice and different ways to do it. I have a particular way that I suggest people come up with their pricing. And I have actually a free workshop coming up next week that will, and it's totally free, okay, that will take you through this process. So first of all, what I teach isn't anything about go do the research, see what other people are charging, all that stuff. I'm not saying there are times when that could be valuable, but mostly I don't think that's valuable, right? Because even if you're just saying it's coaching, it's like, well, there's people who charge, $1 million a year to coach.
For a day.
Literally, quite literally, right? And there's people who charge, $50 an hour. And there's people, and energy healers. I know people who charge, $85 a session. And I know someone who charges $350 a session. And I know some people who charge more than that. It's like, and they're not necessarily that they're more experienced or better. Might be, but
it's what they can line up with, right?
Right. And so what I think is essential in the pricing is it's an internal process you have to take yourself through to create the pricing that you are aligned with at this time. And it will change over time, but you're aligned and you're confident in the price. Because here's the thing, no matter what your price is, there's no right price. There's only what's the right price for you right now.
That's right. Yeah? And when you're aligned with the value of the results your clients are getting.
Exactly. And so
can be elusive.
Yeah, well, yeah, and that's what I'm saying. That's why I have this process that I take you through. So here's where it came from is I mentioned I've always been pretty entrepreneurial. So I've had a number of different things and been self-employed most of my life. Mm-hmm. And when you're self-employed, unlike when you have a job, when you're self-employed, you are constantly having to set your price and then stand by it, right? And like when you get a job, you kind of just do that once at the beginning, right? And then maybe you raise every once in a while, but it's like an everyday thing. Yeah. And so I had all the same stuff, all the same doubts, and people won't pay and know what to do. And a lot of times, let me just throw in there, a lot of times when people are saying like people won't pay that, what they really mean is I wouldn't pay that.
Yep.
And if you wouldn't pay for what you're the price that you say you want to charge for what you're selling, then I'm not going to say it's the wrong price, like literally like, oh, then you should charge less. I'm saying there's something there for you to clean up for yourself.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. It's an inner game step you're hopping on.
But what happened is like over time, over years, really decades of being self-employed and having to come up, when I was a massage therapist, when I was a coach, when I was a this, when I was a that, coming up with the pricing, I realized that over time, I created a process that I went through over time. And I didn't really realize that I'd created this process. And a few years ago, someone was really struggling to come up with their price. And I was like, oh, just do this. And they were like, where'd you get that? And I was like, I don't know, just what I do. And then it was kind of one of those light bulb moments, like, oh, this is valuable.
Right, the stuff that we just know.
Other people don't have this.
Yeah.
And I do, and it's valuable. And I did a free training of it. And even though here's what's crazy, even though it was a free training, I was like, oh, is this even worth any? Because it seemed so obvious to me. And then people did it and they were like, that changed my life. And I was like, okay. Okay, I got it.
Okay, we should do this for the people some more.
So I created a process, what's the word I'm looking for? Repeatable process you can do every time you need to come up with new pricing or you're ready to raise your prices, which is something we haven't talked about. And it's a very, very simple thing, but it is based on you doing this internal process and really owning your worth. Okay. And you come out the other end with a price that you're like, yeah, that's my price. Here the reality is no matter what your price is, people are going to have opinions that it's too high or too low. Like if there's one thing the world will never run out of, it's opinions. Okay. Right. So you need a price where it doesn't matter what other people's opinions are because it is solid for you. And that makes all the difference because when you come in with confidence, that's what people respond to, right? And that is what you'll get from this workshop. So it's actually called the Worth Workshop.
I love it. Oh, and we get to invite people, right? I'm going to grab that and pop it in the comments. Ann's sharing a guest pass with you guys. So I think it's coming right up next week.
It's coming up this Monday, October 27th.
Let me put that in the comments here, you guys.
You can register for free. I'm actually doing it. It's a 3-hour workshop from noon to 3 Eastern on Monday, October 27th. And I have done this training many times for hundreds and hundreds, maybe thousands of people at this point. Mm-hmm. But I'm doing it a little differently where it's just in a workshop and we're just going to do the whole thing together.
I love it.
It is truly powerful. I mean, when you go to the page, you can see some of the comments from people of the differences made. Because like I said, if you don't have this piece solid, it's right at the core of everything. Yeah. And so everything else you're trying to do is going to feel shaky. Every conversation you try to have, when you don't feel solid about your price, how do you think that's affecting your conversations with people about what you do? Because you're afraid of there's a point when they're going to ask me the price and I'm not solid on that. So your whole conversation could end up going so badly that they never even ask you about the price.
Because you're like,
because because
and it wonks your energy in other ways in other places too.
Yeah. But when you have that price and it's solid, then it affects everything in the positive way.
So much is going on with that you're talking about in terms of like, so in my world, we talk about that calibration, right? So you're calibrating to your worth, and it's not you are worthy beyond measure simply because you exist. Right. But we're talking about the value of the results your clients get. And I want to highlight, you guys, this is a live workshop with you, right, Ann?
Yes, there's a live workshop.
So there's an kinetic. I pretty much only do live workshops in my world because there's a kinetic energy transference that happens when we are together live, not only because you're with a master energy healer. Did you catch that part? While you're walking through this workshop, but you're also in a collective of dedicated other people who are in their own expansion. They're committed to their own expansion. And when that community alchemy is happening together in real time, it's even more potent and powerful than it would be, if you were taking it through a course.
You'll get that power of the community, because when community comes together, things are more powerful and they get expanded and amplified. You'll get my coaching, you'll get my, as you're sharing what's coming up for you. And I will be doing energy clearing. I will be doing energy clearing in the workshop. Right? We're going to drive up some stuff. I'm going to clear it.
Yeah. And if you haven't, we are streaming in several different places, wherever you're coming in from. I'd love to have your comments, let you know you're here. What are your takeaways? And if you're new to the woo, if the woo isn't your thing and you haven't experienced it, it's not freaky. You're not going to, nothing, there's no downside. And it can be instant. It can be kind of inexplicably instant how things that have been stopping you or feelings that you've had in your body are just gone. Like you put a number on them before and then something happened and you can't find them to put a number on anymore. So whether you believe in it or not, it doesn't really matter. If you want to feel better, if you want rapid transformation, it's certainly worth checking out.
Absolutely. And it really is. It's like designed to, you're going to leave different.
Someone's commenting, it's in the chat that it might be the enrollment to the 27th says it's over. So let's check our link. We'll definitely come back and repost that. And I'd love to make sure that everything's working there for you. The workshop's coming up on Monday, so it should be working fine. And I would love to hear, Ann, if you had, the link is working for me fine. But if you had one thing that you could, if you had 10,000 people listening and they were all of your favorite, best clients, the people you most feel guided to serve and to support and uplift, and you had, a sentence or two to share with them, what would you say?
I would say that the work that you do, the wisdom that you've gained over the years that transforms lives, is too important for you to not be able to get it out there because of these fears, these blocks, these concerns, these not being able to put a price, not knowing how to talk about it. Like, it's way too important. All of those things that we talked about today are shiftable, transformable, right? That's what this is all about. This is a transformational workshop. And don't wait. There's literally people out in the world right now who are waiting for you. Like, you're the one. Maybe they've heard different things for other people, but they need to hear it from you. And they can't find you right now, right? Because there's still this stuff that's kind of keeping you hidden. It's like, let's make sure they can find you so you can make that difference that your soul came here to create.
Yes. Awesome. So much yes. Thank you so much for being here. We've had some great viewers along the road. When you come back to watch the replay, let us know your comments and where you're tuning in from there as well. The link is working if you want to join the Worth workshop. This is a live transmission happening on Monday, the 27th of October, and an opportunity to be with Ann and experience this work live. I combined live and Ann. Live. That's Lan. I appreciate you so much. I know the goodness and the transformation you're bringing into the world. Thank you for this very uplifted conversation. And thanks everybody for being here. Share this interview with somebody that may benefit. Let us know in the comments what your takeaways are. And please join us for this powerful workshop. If anything is resonating with you, the next step is to take action. And inspired action means it's an idea, something flowed in, it sounded good and felt good, and then you did it. And so a really concrete way for you to do that 2 sides of the stairway hop would be to, you've been here listening, go ahead and click that link and show up for Ann's workshop on Monday. That's a pretty powerful way to integrate what we've been talking about into your life. So thanks again, Ann, for being here. I'll see you guys next week on Give Voice to Your Vision. Have a great weekend.
Bye, everyone.